Hi friends, let's talk about how to teach beat versus rhythm. When it comes to kindergarten, first grade, elementary music, you really want to spend a lot of time on teaching beat versus rhythm, because you want to make sure that the kids know what the difference is, how to play both of them, and just really understand that very basic concept. So in this video, we're going to talk about how I teach like beat and then how I first teach rhythm at the very beginning before I even tell them like what a quarter note is. So that's me this video. If you are watching this because you are a new music teacher or you just want a little bit more help, I have a new music teacher course that goes in depth about like how to teach the major concepts. And so you might want to grab that one. I will leave a link to it down below in the description. And you know, I have a lot of videos on this channel, so hit subscribe and you can go exploring and learn lots more stuff too. Okay, so first of all, when it comes to teaching beat and beginning to teach rhythm, you want to make sure that you start with like beat. I don't teach kindergarten anymore. My school starts at first grade. So I spend the first 6 months of first grade really drilling down on simple concepts like steady beat, upwards, downwards, high and low, like those kind of things, before I ever approach rhythm. And I really spend the whole first 6 months of first grade on beat. And then in January is when I first start to introduce the idea of rhythm. When I had kindergarten, I would typically spend all of kindergarten working on the beat, and then that would be the first thing I would work on in first grade was introducing rhythm. So just take your time here, because the kids cannot keep the beat, everything else is going to be very difficult. So even though it feels frustrating, like really take your time here. So make sure you're keeping the beat, you're tapping the steady beat, you're putting it on different parts of your body, you're moving to the steady beat, you're walking the steady beat, like do those things first. Once you have that pretty good, we'll do that, and then we'll start. So like the first day that I'm gonna start introducing this is we will use songs, of course. One of my favorite songs to use is Mouse Mousey. That has been like my go-to lately. And we'll use heartbeats on the board, or I'll give them their own little heartbeats, and we'll tap the heartbeats while we sing. So first we'll tap it on our bodies, then we'll tap the heartbeats while we sing, so that we really understand like, okay, here is the beat, it is steady. And whenever we talk about the beat, we always say, and I use mirrors up, so the kids echo me and I say mirrors up, the beat is the heart of the music, the beat stays the same. And even though obviously the beat doesn't always stay the same, you know, we're going with that for now, and later we can talk about how yes, it does actually change sometimes. But I feel like it's easier for them to understand like the speeding up and slowing down, as long as they know that that's like our steady pulse through the whole music. So we'll do that. We will point to the beat, and then I will have a day. This is something new that I started that has really helped. Is I'll have them keep the beat, and then I'll sing the song, and I'll say I'm gonna play the beat. So I did this the other day on the xylophone. So I said I'm gonna play on my xylophone. If I'm playing the beat, give me a thumbs up. If I'm not playing the beat and I'm playing something else, give me a thumbs down. And so I'll play on the xylophone and I'll play the steady beat, and then I'll play like just random rhythms along with the song. And after you do that a couple of times, they kind of get the point, and then you can play the rhythm and they'll realize, oh no, that's different. Don't play the rhythm immediately, because it's too close to the song that they might like get confused. But if at first you're playing like, you know, mouse, mousey, little mousey, hurry, then they're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's obviously not the beat. Then you can play the rhythm and they understand like, oh, that's not the beat either, even though it kind of goes with the song, like, because they automatically understand that the rhythm goes with the song even before you tell them what that is. So that has been really helpful, to just like making sure they're distinguishing the beat and just realizing not everything is the beat. There are other things too. After that, then we'll have another day where we go over the beat again. And the first thing we do is put it on our bodies. So I have started using alligator claps for the beat when we're talking about beat versus rhythm specifically. So we've already put the beat on every part of our body we possibly can. I like to keep the beat on our laps, but when I'm introducing beat and rhythm, it can be really easy to accidentally play the rhythm when you're doing this. When you do alligator claps, you're moving your arms so much that it's really difficult to play the rhythm because you're just, you know, because it'd be like, mouse, mousy, little, like it's too far away, so it doesn't work as well. So that's one thing that has been helping tremendously with my kiddos this year specifically. So I'm like, we're gonna use our alligator claps and keep the beats. We'll do mouse, mousy, little mousy, hurry, hurry, do, or the kitty in the housey will be chasing you. And as we do it, we talk about how it's steady, we talk about how it keeps going the whole time, we talk about how it doesn't change through the whole song. And if someone is doing it wrong, make sure you stop and correct them. Not like, you're not playing the beat, but like, make sure you're tracking Miss Davis and see if you can match my alligator claps. We're all gonna have matching alligator claps today, because some of them will instinctively play the rhythm instead, and you want to drill down like, this is the beat, not the rhythm. So those alligator claps is really helpful because it's just big enough that it's hard to play the rhythm, and just really making sure that they are matching you while you're doing it together. Okay, so we'll do that. And then after we've already determined like, oh, there's a beat and not a beat, then I'll say, great. Now, the beat is actually not the only thing that you can play along with the song. You can also play the way that the words go. So this time I'm gonna clap, but I'm gonna clap in a way that matches the words and is not the beat. Let's see how it goes. And then I'll sing, mouse, mousy, little mousy, hurry, hurry, do. And I do it very exaggerated like that so they understand like, oh, we have hurry is slow, and then we have like hurry, do, so that they get that like difference pretty automatically. And that's why like this song, I used to use engine number 9 to introduce rhythm, but it's the same rhythm through every line, and so that was a little bit confusing. So I like that this one is almost, it's mostly different. I think 2 of the lines are the same, but it's different enough that you have options there. And after I do it the first time, I'll be like, now, was that the beat? And they usually are like, no. I'm like, no, because we had hurry that was slow, and then I had like hurry do that was faster. And so sometimes they, you know, sometimes we're going faster, sometimes we're going slower. This, and I am experimenting with different ways to do it. At first I was trying to just say like, this is the way the words go, and honestly I've been starting with that and then being like, okay, this, when I'm playing and matching the words, is rhythm. Our sign for rhythm is this. So we do a peace sign, go bloop, and now you have an R for rhythm. We have B for beat, R for rhythm. Let's see if you can play the rhythm, and then we'll echo it back and forth. So I'll do mouse, mousy, little mousy, and we'll do that with just the words first, and then we'll sing it and play it. And then immediately I say, okay, let's go back to our alligator claps and play the beat. Great. This time we're gonna do our 2-finger claps and play the rhythm. So that way I'm really getting them to do both, and that has been helpful. Again, you know, you learn more as you teach more, and that's been really helpful to just really make sure that they're distinguishing between the two, is making sure they're doing both from the get-go and naming them and understanding that. Well, not naming it immediately, but naming it, you know, quickly, so that they understand them. So then what we do after that is we'll kind of stay on there for a while. And so one of my favorite things to do is a little chant that I learned from oh, I don't know what her last name is. Shanna from Carnegie Hall is what we always call her. I'll find her last name and I'll put it here. But Shanna from Carnegie Hall comes and does these workshops with our district, because we do a program called Musical Explorers that is based off of the Carnegie Hall one. So she comes down and helps like facilitate that. And so she taught this really cute little rhyme that I do like all the time now. And so you put the beat in your feet and you say, the beat, the beat, the beat is in my feet. And the kids echo everything. We'll say, the beat is like my heart, beat is like that. The beat never changes. You could go fast or slow, but the beat stays the same. The beat, the beat, the beat is in my feet. We say the rhythm's in my hands. Rhythm's in my hands. Rhythm is the way the words go. Is the way the words go. Rhythm is long and short notes. And then we'll say the beat, the beat, the beat stayed in my feet. And then we'll stop. Once they know what quarter and eighth notes are, then we'll say one long note is ta, two short notes are titi. And so we kind of add more as we go. So when we talk about beat, we'll just do the first half and then we'll add those later. I think I made up most of that rhythm, but then I'll see once they're a little more advanced, then you can put the beat in your feet and have them clap a rhythm after you. Usually like the very beginning, we're not quite there yet, but we'll do that later as a practice once they get it a little bit more. Okay, so here, then after that, on a different day, I will get a whiteboard and I'll put 4 heartbeats on the whiteboard. We'll sing our song and we'll point to the heartbeats and we'll say, you know, these are the heartbeats, they're the beats, they stay the same. Then we'll go through the lines of the song and we'll add dots for the rhythms. So we'll be like, okay, let's see if we can figure out how the words go. So we have mouse. Is that gonna be 1 sound or 2 sounds? Like 1, great. So I'll put 1 dot on the first heartbeat. Mousey, how many sounds is that? And they're like, oh, 2. And so we'll put 2 on the second one and we'll continue with that. So we'll continue with that and we'll get like the first line and then the second line and we'll talk about how sometimes there's 1, sometimes there's 2, and it changes and it's different. And so having the beats there and the dots really help us to understand like those are different things. I usually do them in different colors too to just really emphasize that. And so we'll point to the beats and then we'll point to the rhythms on the board as I have it and we'll practice that way. Then usually on, again, a different day, because this is a long process, then we'll have this, but we'll have the kids do it instead of me doing it. And so, and usually we'll name this, and in the past I've named them, I've said like long and short. Honestly, this time I was just like, this is ta and this is titi. I'm gonna call 1 sound ta and 2 sounds titi, and they have picked that up just fine. So, you know, I try things differently, you know, and we'll just see how it goes. So sometimes I say long and short. This year I'm not doing that, but we'll just see how I feel next year. Maybe we'll go back to long and short. But this year we're just saying ta and titi. And so I will have that. And so then on another day, we'll have the kids will come in and we'll talk about the way the words go. We'll practice playing the way the words go. One of my favorite things is to show them the Go Noodle video about syllables. That's really helpful to help them like get that like whole like words equals how many sounds. And then I'll have them do the activity. So usually for this, we'll do 1 together and then I'll have them get a board with heartbeats on it, little like bingo chips, mini erasers, that kind of stuff, and then they will put the beats on there. And we'll start again with a known song, usually a different song than we used the first time, and do it that way. And then usually on a different day we'll do it again, but this time we'll just use tas and titis and have them notated that way. Another fun activity you can do, which I usually use, you know, a little bit after we've done these things, is using chair rhythms. So you can put 4 chairs up at the front and you say each chair is a beat, point to the beat while you sing, and then you can add kids to the chairs. So 1 kid in a chair would be ta, 2 kids in a chair would be titi, and you can change them around and the kids think this is hilarious. You can also do this all throughout. So when you get to half notes, they can lay on a chair. You can have a chair that's empty, which helps them to understand rest because there's still a chair, but there's no sounds there. There's no kids there. If you really want to go crazy, you can put 4 kids on a chair for 16 notes, and you know, do all those things. I've also done this with hula hoops, especially with the 16 notes. It's a lot less chaotic that way, but it is a lot of fun. And so with the little kids, we use chairs. We have kids sit there and we make different rhythms, and so we'll read them as ta and titi or long and short, however you want to do that. And then finally, we'll do this again one day and we'll say, okay, here, you know, we'll figure out how many sounds we have on each one. I'll be like, great. Now that you are so smart, we're gonna learn what real rhythms look like. So our ta is gonna look like this, and I'll show them a quarter note, and our titi looks like this. And usually as soon as they see it, they're like, great, they understand. And then from then on, we can do more activities with the actual rhythms. So I like to, after we've done all of this, the next step would be them making rhythms with like little manipulatives that have tas and titis. And then the next step after that would be having them drawing the rhythms so that they really get that down pat. So I like to do all those pretty back to back so that they like get all that together. Whew, that was a lot of information. And that's like 6 months of elementary music lessons rolled into a less than 20-minute video. So I hope that all of that made sense. This again is a slow process. The first, like, teaching beat and rhythm is very important, and it's really important that you get this right so that the kids will be set up for success after this. And so it's really important that you make sure that the kids understand these concepts. The good news though is that if you spend enough time on the beginning stages of it and really get that like core solid understanding of the first like fundamental parts, the next rhythms are going to be so much easier, because it's so much easier to understand rest when you already understand beats and you already understand, you know, sounds. And then pretty much all it takes for the kids to understand rest is having a song with hearts, pointing to the hearts while you sing, and then being like, huh, what happened on this heart? And they're like, oh, we didn't say anything there. I'm like, oh, it was quiet, huh, interesting. And then like, that's really all it takes. Now we spend more time on it than that, but they get it much more quickly because we spent lots of time on it at the beginning. So apparently I'm done filming. Take the time to really get it solid at the beginning, and it will pay you back tenfold when the kids get older. I think that is all the time that we have because Nyla is demanding some attention. You are very demanding, but thank you. That's very sweet of you, as you get your fur all over my black sweater. So I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching, Nyla, and I appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button down below. I'm gonna go before I get eaten alive by this little puppy. Hi. I know you're not actually that little of a puppy. I feel like you're little, but yeah, I think most of my subscribers would disagree. Yeah, do you want to play the beat and the rhythm? I think the coolest trick ever would be if you could teach your dog to wag to different beats per rhythm or beats per minute, so you could have like a doggy metronome. If anyone's taught their dog to do that, let me know so I can, I want the details. I want a dog metronome. It's my life goal. Okay, bye.